Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for tuning in for an episode that I am so excited to get to today. We are going to cover what I feel is a really important modern baseball card. This is a 2024 Topps card. It's only been out for a few months, but I think if you view your collection the way I do, which is sort of a catalog of the history of the game, it's a card that you kind of can't go without. At least that's how I felt. So just to set the backstory a little bit, I very much view my collection, as I mentioned, as sort of a chronicling of the game of baseball. All the great personalities that have participated in the game over the years, all the great feats that have been achieved, just the rich history of our national pastime represented on cardboard. That's really the ideal of how I view my collection. And so in today's video, we're going to cover a Negro Leagues card that is really, really important in that context. And just to set the backdrop, you see a couple players up behind you, obviously, who infamously integrated the game back in 1947. These are the guys that we often think of first when we think of the Negro Leagues and integration, and rightfully so. They overcame an enormous amount of adversity, the likes of which most of us can't even imagine. They truly are national heroes, and they deserve every bit of the hobby love that they get. But as we all know as well, there were generations before them who weren't fortunate enough to either play in MLB at all, or certainly to spend their best years and their prime years playing in Major League Baseball stadiums around the country. And today's episode is going to focus on those guys. And when I think of that class of players, there's one offensive and one defensive player that I think stand out as kind of heads and tails above the rest. On the defensive side of the ball, that is, of course, Satchel Paige. A guy who is larger than life, one of the greatest personalities to come from the Negro Leagues, and definitely, I would say, the greatest Negro Leagues pitcher ever to participate, and maybe the best pitcher of all time in the mix, at least. I mean, we really can't say, and we'll never be able to say, which is the shame of it all. Satchel did make the majors, just like Jackie and Dobie, but unlike these guys, who got to experience Major League Baseball in their 20s, Satchel didn't get there until he was over 40 years old. So his best years, we'll never know how he would have fared against Major League talent. But he did make it, and he did get a card, as we all know, a Topps card in 1953. And this is one of my favorite cards in the hobby. To me, Topps is the name that is synonymous with baseball cards. I love Bowman and Leaf and all those other sets, but it's a Topps world, and I'm just so grateful that we got this Page card. Even though this was like his age 46 season, it just represents one of the most interesting personalities and most skilled players and in the history of the game, really. And it's one of my top favorite cards in my collection, easily top 10, and I absolutely love it. So Satchel Paige, although it was late, he did get his Topps card. The other player that you think of in terms of spending the majority, in this case, their entire career in the Negro Leagues and being supremely talented, is, of course, the slugger, Josh Gibson. And he is going to be the subject of today's video. He never received the Topps card back in the day, of course, because he never played Major League Baseball. Tragically, he had a brain injury, died at a very young age, early in 1947. Not only did he not make the majors, of course, but he didn't even live long enough to witness integration with his own two eyes. So really tragic tale. By all accounts, his peers and managers and white players and black players alike, this guy was as good as the Babe Ruths and Lou Gehrig's of the world, just never got his chance to prove it on a Major League diamond. And in 2024 Topps Update, he finally got his first Topps card in terms of just flagship or Topps Update. All those years later, this is a highlights checklist card that celebrates the integration of the Negro League statistics into the MLB stats, which of course made Josh the career batting average leader. Now, I understand that kind of comes with an asterisk. I don't want to get into a debate about that. That's not the intent of today's video. The point is, after all these decades, we finally got a proper Topps flagship / update card of probably one of the most important players never to receive one previously, and a card that, in my opinion, was long overdue. So I've picked up a few different versions of this. That is the Topps Gold, numbered to the year of release. Copy 1943 here, which was actually a great season for him, so that's kind of cool. And I've gotten a bunch of other like, $2, $3 shiny, cool copies of this one to put out in my Negro Leagues Z Folio. And I would recommend anybody who's interested go out and land a couple of those, just really significant for the reasons that we're getting into today. But that's not the version of the card I want to focus on in today's episode. Of course, we are living in a chrome, refractor, shiny world in the modern hobby, like it or not. And as much as I love my vintage, which you see up in the background there, I love my modern refractors and shine as well. So I really wanted to try to get some challenging, low-numbered refractors and things of this card. The problem with it, which is actually, I think, a good thing in my opinion, because this is a highlights and checklist card, it's not included in Topps Chrome Baseball. That set has a smaller checklist, and it's typically just, star players and rookies, and they have to, in lieu of the smaller checklist, kind of eliminate a lot of the highlights and record breakers and lesser known players and things like that. So there's not a Topps Chrome proper version of that card. However, the set that does have a chromium version of that card is Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition. So check this one out. What I love about Sapphire, a couple things for those who don't know. This set is almost 10 years old now. In fact, the 2025 release that'll be out later this year will represent 10 years, a full decade of Topps Chrome Sapphire. And unlike regular Topps Chrome that has a smaller checklist, this checklist mirrors the full Topps base set. And so what that means is this is the only Chrome version or shiny version, chromium, of the Josh Gibson 2024 highlights card. This is it. And on top of that, the other thing that I really like about Sapphire, compared to many other products in the modern marketplace, and I know this is a frequent complaint for vintage collectors that don't want to get into modern, this set has a very limited print run every year, and it has a very small number of parallels. So as I really thought more about the importance of this card, I decided through opportunity and a little bit of research to pursue a full, complete rainbow of the 2024 Topps Chrome Sapphire Josh Gibson. And it's a very small rainbow. Again, one of the things that I love about Sapphire, it's produced in very small quantities. It's quite expensive if you buy it unopened, but it's produced in small quantities and there are a small number of parallels. So to complete a full rainbow of this card, right down to the one of one, you are only looking at 6 total cards. So let's go through some of these. This is the base card here, not numbered, but again, they don't make a million of these. You'll find one of these for maybe, $5 to $10 if you look around. If you find one cheaper, that's a great deal. And then the parallels, the highest numbered parallel of that card is actually the gold numbered to 50. And how nice does this look? I mean, what an amazing card. I love gold numbered to 50, period. And I think, with just 50 of these in existence, the popularity of gold in the modern hobby and the significance of this card being a long overdue first Topps card proper of Josh Gibson. This is a sneaky cool card. I've seen a few of these go in like the $30 to $40 range. I think that is an absolute bargain, but love this card. And definitely a sign in the world of watered down numbers of parallels. When the highest numbered parallel is out of 50, that's sort of what I'm talking about with respect to Topps Chrome Sapphire. So we'll put that one up in the background here. And then the next lowest numbered parallel is the orange, has half the print run of the gold, numbered to just 25. And it's a little tough to make out, but the serial numbering is right above the MLB logo. You can see it there. And this is actually a jersey match as well. Josh wore jersey number 20. And this is copy 20 of 25. So pumped to have this one. Was able to secure this in a lot with the gold and the base card and pick up the 3 most common versions in one fell swoop. And then this is where it starts to get difficult. The next parallel is the black, which is numbered to just 10. And this was the hardest one for me to find for some reason. This just arrived in today's mail. I've been waiting to get this video up, but this is the black numbered to 10, as you can see, copy 9 of 10. It's looking a little flat on video, but in hand it really does sparkle. Maybe not as much as the other colors. The black background kind of mutes it out a little bit, but again, was going for the rainbow here just because of how significant I think this card is, and happy and grateful to have tracked down one of these. As most modern collectors know, anything that is numbered as low as 10 If you don't grab it, shortly after release, you'll be lucky if you ever see it again. So happy to rein that one in. And then the last kind of practical parallel that you could track down, exceedingly difficult and exceedingly popular year in and year out, is the red. And let me make some adjustments here in the background. The red, which is numbered to just 5. And this is a gorgeous card. I have copy 1 of 5 here, the Alpha. I mean, look at that. Just fantastic. I have seen a couple of the others, the other 4 that are out there, hit eBay and sell, but I'm just eternally grateful that I was able to scoop one of them up. This might be the best looking of the 4 that we just saw, or the 5 that we just saw, including the base card. So there's your red. And then, as is always the case with modern product, there is a 1 of 1. Now, there's only one 1 of 1. There are not printing plates or multiple different 1 of 1s. There is just the classic Superfractor, the 1 of 1 Superfractor. And yeah, obviously you probably knew where this was going, but this was one of my huge pickups to close out the 2024 collecting year. Was able to acquire, you can see the 1 of 1 right here, the Josh Gibson 2024 Topps Update Superfractor from Chrome Sapphire. This is the only Superfractor. This is it. Absolutely incredible. I'm smiling here behind the camera as I hold this up. Easily a top 5 baseball card that I acquired last year, period. I've only gotten into these 1 of 1s the last couple of years. I always just assumed that they were beyond my reach, but through a lot of selling and condensing, I've been able to kind of raise up funds to go after some of these bigger, more significant cards. And I don't think I added a single card last year that was more significant than this. And check out those swirls. They almost look like records spinning, gold vinyl type look. That's what they're known as in the world of Panini, but in Topps, they are Superfractors. And this is just, I mean, I'm trying not to humble brag, but I'm just like stunned that this card even surfaced on eBay at all. And everything worked out with the timing and me having sold some really expensive and nice stuff and being ready to pounce. And then once I had this in hand, and with there being only 6 total versions of this card across all parallels, I knew I had to try to go for the rainbow. It took me a while to find that black, numbered to 10, but finally got it in today and completed the 2024 Topps Update Josh Gibson Chromium Rainbow. So that's going to be a wrap for today. I'm going to try to keep this on the short side, but hopefully I've done an okay job kind of painting why I feel this card is so important and sort of its historical significance in the hobby. Satchel got his Topps card all the way back in 1953. For Josh Gibson, it took quite a while longer, but I love that it got here at last, and I love that I was able to track down some of these really, really tough versions of it. So would love to hear from you in the comments below. Really appreciate you tuning in for this one. I'll be back soon with some more content, as you know. In the meantime, I hope everybody out there is enjoying this hobby as much as I am. Take care.